One of the things that impressed me most when looking at the tridactyl mummies is how real they appear. I visited their website, tridactyls.org, and carefully analyzed the data. I'm not a scientist, but I have studied animal anatomy and have some knowledge of creature design for films and games. In this video, I'll share my point of view on the tridactyls. The first thing I focused on were, of course, the 3 fingers and toes the being possesses. They are long, and as the team states on their website, each has 4 phalanges. In mammals, including humans, we all have 3 phalanges in the fingers and toes, and 2 in the big toe and thumb. But you know who has 4 phalanges? Reptiles. Now, I'm not suggesting these findings are mummies of lizard people, but it does make you think. Just look at the eyes and skulls of these pre-Sumerian Ubaid lizardman figurines. Don't they resemble the faces of the tridactyl mummies? If you compare the hand of a tridactyl with the skeleton of a reptile's hand, you notice a similar phalange pattern. The first bone from the wrist is the longest, much like in humans. The difference is that reptiles have 5 fingers, not 3, and each finger has a varying number of phalanges. The tridactyls have 4 phalanges on each finger, which makes it even more peculiar. So which reptile has 3 fingers and 4 phalanges? Many theropod dinosaurs had 3 functional fingers, but their phalangeal formula was 2, 3, 4. None had 3 fingers with 4 phalanges each. There is no living reptile with that arrangement. Let's move away from reptiles and return to mammals. If we look at the hand of an orangutan, it appears strikingly similar to that of the tridactyl. It's elongated and the phalanges are almost identical. In fact, they are essentially the same, though of course orangutans do not live in Peru. So why does the tridactyl's website state they have 4 phalanges? To me, that appears to be an error. They do not have 4 phalanges. They have 3. The longest bones are not phalanges at all, but metacarpals, the bones forming the back of the hand. You don't see these as finger bones once the skin is in place. If we cover them with skin, their hands are suddenly not so different from ours. Now let's digitally remove the thumb and pinky finger from an orangutan's hand skeleton. We end up with a perfect match to the tridactyl's hand. Impressive, isn't it? So now we have a match to a mammal's hand, yet something still feels wrong. If the tridactyl mummies were real beings, how did they interact with their environment without a thumb? Looking again at the scan of the being's hand, you can spot the trapezium bone. This sits at the base of the thumb's metacarpal and is essential for thumb movement. So why would a creature with no thumb have a bone designed to enable thumb movement? If we assume the tridactyls are real and not the result of some strange mutilation experiment, how would they have managed without thumbs? Without thumbs, we cannot truly hold objects or manipulate our surroundings. These tridactyl beings were either incapable of performing everyday tasks, or they were so advanced that they could shape and control their environment with their minds. Over time, the thumb and pinky, the 2 fingers that enable us to grip objects, may have become redundant and disappeared through evolution. Consider sloths. Their hands and feet have long, curved claws that act like hooks, allowing them to cling to branches. Could the tridactyls have lived in trees? With toes that long, walking would be difficult, similar to trying to walk while wearing swim fins. Perhaps they lived entirely in trees, like certain monkeys. Yet again, I suspect the tridactyl research team may have mistaken metatarsals for phalanges, perhaps because this part of the body was not covered in muscle or skin. But what if the skin and muscles had been removed deliberately? As unpleasant as that is to imagine, it could explain the unusual and inconsistent anatomy of the tridactyls. Of course, I haven't seen the mummies in person, so these are only my hypotheses. I respect the research being conducted on the tridactyls. Let's examine the fingerprints. On the tridactyls website, they show close-up images of the being's fingers. I'll keep this brief. Notice the pigmentation of the skin. Doesn't it match the tone of an orangutan's skin? Lastly, let's talk about the skull. Look at this picture of a tridactyl. Notice how the eye socket openings are large and round. Doesn't that resemble this picture of an orangutan's skull? Now compare it to a human skull where the eye sockets are not perfectly round. This supports the idea that these beings could be orangutans or another monkey species, perhaps altered or mutilated, or, as I prefer to imagine, they might belong to a distinct branch of a genetically modified monkey species, perhaps created in a way similar to how we once were. What do you think about the tridactyl mummies? Let me know in the comments and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.